mains plot, the Protostar Sky Plaza. Plaza? Can't talk this morning. If you didn't catch the show yesterday, we did do some house tours as usual. Wednesday is our house tours day. And lately for December, I'm trying to keep it winter-esque themed. So we're trying to show homes that have winter plot type of setup, arrangement or whatever. But we also specifically toured the Venus Rising holiday plot that they put together in kind of in promotion of their Winterfest housing competition. It's not complete yet, so we just took kind of a sneak peek of what they've got so far. But I told them to give me a poke when they are done, and that we'd give a retour. Basically, most people, including them and myself, are waiting for the Winterfest to actually hit live, which won't be until the 16th. Good morning, Soccer Top. And for all of the new winter decor to come out, a lot of the new lights, the gift packages, the gift boxes, posters, and things like that. So if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, they've posted some screenshots in the forums and stuff, but you haven't seen it yet, be sure and check it out. You can find it on my highlights page on my Twitch channel, or you can visit my YouTube channel. It's also there. I always archive everything that I stream, so folks can find it in various places. To start off today, we're going to do the holiday Advent house reveal. We've been, I think we're on day, what is it? Day 10? Day 10, I think. Yeah, I think it is 8 on the top, and then we started down here. So day 10 coming up. Nelia will probably appreciate this, this particular one. I actually built it before I saw what they had done with theirs. So it's just funny to see how similar it is, but different as well. But you'll see that I also have a gingerbread fella. I used exile pieces, the domes and the cylinders mostly, I think. And I can't remember if it was rocks or, yeah, snowy covered trees, snowy tree curved for the buttons and the eyes and mouth, and then I used towels for the icing bit on the arms and legs. So I kept mine a little bit more simple. It's smaller, and of course if you zoom out, then some of it disappears because of the size that it was done at. Like I said, depending on the item, if it's a really large item when it first comes in and you shrink it down quite a bit, you have more risk of the further you are away from it, the more you don't see it. But that's my little gingerbread guy. I'll of course tweet it later when we're done with the stream. But for those of that are going to be watching this, you get to see it first. So that's my little gingerbread fella. Like I said, I didn't see their plot with the little gingerbread guy that they had on theirs until long after I completed these, because I did these all pretty much early part of November, maybe a little later than that. I finished them all up, so all of this is already pre-built and ready to go. I just, but it was amusing to see that we considered the same options, sort of. They used hover part pieces for theirs rather than the exile stuff, but it's still, you kind of want something a little brownish, a little, not chocolatey per se, but something that looks a little brown to represent the gingerbread. And of course the icing, it was a no-brainer with the towels for the stripes. Anyway, so that's I guess it'd be day 10 reveal, gingerbread man for the Advent holiday house. We are going to be working on the beach house shortly, but there are some new things on the housing vendor that I thought I would point out. I actually took the time to go through every single item to try and catch every single new piece that is actually available. And I figured it would be nice to kind of just showcase that. So first off, just a reminder to those, it's not really Winterfest related or anything, but a reminder to those that have already unlocked the Cassian Welder from their daily login rewards. It doesn't show a good preview, but you'll see that if you have unlocked it through your daily, then it should unlock it in the vendor. So now you can buy as many of the welder peoples that you want, which is nice because you know, it was kind of disappointing for some that it was kind of a one-off kind of deal, and they wanted the opportunity to get a hold of more. I know that the other like guard NPCs, they only come from the fortune coins, but they are tradable. So there's still opportunity that you can get multiples of those. But the welder wasn't that way. And I assume that any future NPCs that come through the daily login rewards, that those two will be unlocked on the housing vendor. But this is something I noticed. I'm pretty sure they had a note about it in the patch notes saying that they had unlocked it for us. So there's that. But on to the new winter decor. We have the frozen water. You can't really tell much from the preview because again they only have the one axis that you can rotate on, but this is what it looks like. If I can, I'll just go ahead and get one and you can kind of have a better idea of what it looks like. It'll be good for somebody that wants to make kind of like a frozen pond for a skating kind of deal. There are some holes in it. I don't know if any of them are passable if you size it up enough. The bottom looks a little bit more grayish, darker gray, whereas the top has the actual kind of like icy, snowy details and stuff. But it's an interesting piece. It's, you know, an odd shape, and again, like I said, there's little bits of water. So maybe if you want to have like moving water underneath it, you can have it like if you want to do some like little icebergs kind of thing, this would be, you know, your thing. Or if you want to have like simulate some ice fishing with a hole that's been cut, and you can have your little dude fishing in it or whatever, depending on how big you make it or whatever. I'm sure other people will find other ways to use this other than just a frozen patch of water. Like I said, it does have some interesting shape. The holes, of course, like I said, I don't know if they have collision even at larger sizes. If they don't, then I'm sure folks will find some fun ways to use that. Let's just size this down. We'll place that for now. The next one is glaciers. There are several of these, 4 of them in fact. There's the chunk, and you know, this is a good cheap alternative to the frozen pillar. That one is available, I think it's from Metal Mall and Whitevale as a drop from the World Boss. If you don't have the luck of getting that to drop for you, this would be a cheap alternative to get some of these pieces straight from the vendor. Now, I assume that because these didn't come with the holiday event, that these will be here permanently. I assume that. I don't know for sure. So if you think, you know, you might want to grab a few extra just in case, you can do that. If I find out or see if someone official says that yes, they are permanent additions to the housing vendor, then, you know, yay for us. They're not too expensive, you know, 1 gold, or maybe for newer builders, but this is the glacier ledge. So it's a little bit of a snow cap, and then, you know, this little spiky bit of ice. And you got the glacier spire. So if you put like this one in combo with this one, it would probably almost look like the frozen pillar that we get straight from the World Boss. So that's really good. It's a nice alternative for those that don't have the opportunity or the luck of getting those particular items to drop. And then we have the Glacier Step. Again, it's a little bit of snow capping and then various shaped ice. I'm sure you can flip it over if you wanted to have that little point, or use it as like an actual staircase type of thing if you want. So yeah, some nice interesting snowy glacier bits. Yeah, it would be good for a snowy hill or probably many other things. The next set of decor that are available are the icicles. We have the icicle clusters, which is really nice. It almost has a little bit of red in there, a little bit of rainbowish color. I love the jaggedness of the icicles there. Then they have the icicle group, just a pair actually. I don't know why they call it group when it's just a pair, but anyway. A little bit smaller, but still pretty interesting. I mean, you could turn them right side up. Maybe if you have like an ice cave or something, you could use those for stalactites and stalagmite kind of features. Or if you just have a house that you want to trim in icicles, you can do that. And then this is the icicle spike. So you have a single, a double, and then a group. A really nice little arrangement. Now maybe you want one of your NPCs to have a wizard staff of ice or something. You can give this to them. One of your plushy something or others, I don't know. So that's the icicles. And then we have the snow stuff. Now there's already the dusted snow dust rocks and things, but we also get a snow clump, which is just a little wad of snow. I'll put one of those down there. I think I just created it. Hold on. That's not one to select it, is it? I think I'll have to, for anyone having trouble with searching stuff up in the crate, I do know that Katya's add-on has been updated to allow you to search, because for some reason the new patch has broken the search tool for this. See if I can find it just by scanning through here. And of course not. Well, at least the housing one works correctly. Okay, it looks like it's there. It's kind of hard to see though, it's kind of like hidden. Then you have the snowy hill, which it has a special deal I will show here shortly. And then you have the snowy ice platform small. Now again, the snowy ice platform large comes from the World Boss. I believe it's the same as the frozen pillars, so that would be Metal Mall. But this is a cheaper, more readily available alternative if you can't get a hold of that. It's smaller, it's not as divvied up with bits of snow, little hills and things as the big one. But if you can't get a hold of it and you really need some kind of an ice platform kind of deal, this is an alternative. It's a smaller one, as I said, but like I said, it's available from the vendor, and so that's always a plus. Now, much like the lake, I do believe the bottom is darker. Yeah, it looks more like just some stone. So if you're looking for various kinds of stone shapes and you're getting tired of the ones that we currently have, this is an alternative to add in as well. Instead of using it as a snow bit, you can just use it as a rock bit, just to change things up. Now, the thing that I noticed, I saw a tweet and I retweeted it to my followers, but the snowy hill apparently does exactly like the umbrella tree. It mimics the ground cover down below. So if you don't have the funds to afford a pricey umbrella tree, this is a cheap alternative. It works just as well. It's probably almost better actually because the tree itself comes with all those extra roots and the top of the tree, and this just has this little bump of snow. Hi, Patience. So this is a really good discovery by whoever did that. I don't know if it was uh, Jacks themselves or someone else that they know that just happened to discover it. But so a cheap alternative to the massive umbrella tree, which last I checked was going for like 4 plat or something. It's kind of weird to work with because when you're trying to place it around and build it, it kind of blends into the scenery. But the snowy hill works the same. And like I said, it probably will even be better because you don't have that ugly root sticking out that you have to hide and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for ways to kind of give your plot different elevations and don't have the money to spend on the massive umbrella tree, which I know several of my guildmates that have been complaining about that, this will work far better, I think. It'll be the preferred option. For those of us that have spent the money to get the trees, we may discover that we prefer to use them as trees now rather than the upside down bits, but it's still pretty fun that they've allowed, I assume that they have allowed it. I hope it's not something that they later change because I think a lot of people will be disappointed, but what a great discovery this is. So yeah, I really think this will be the go-to item for those that want different elevations in their plots because, like I said, it doesn't have all that extra, like the treetops and the roots sticking out oddly. I think it'll be a lot easier to kind of hide and cover up and blend in a little better. But yeah, if you're unfamiliar with what I'm actually talking about, what it is it mimics the ground cover that you have on your plot. Like right now I have the white veil ground option. So it looks like white veil and it'll, wherever you position it, that's what it mimics. So if you're in an area where there's a little bit of dirt showing through, that's what it'll show. I've seen a few actually specifically pick the place where the hatch house is because sometimes the dirt there is a little different, and a few other things, and they get some really interesting effects, and this is perfect for that. So that is that. Some nice additions, much requested, and like I said, as I assume, because they've added it outside of the holiday event, I'm possibly wrongly maybe assuming that means that they are permanent additions to the housing vendor. If I do get confirmation of that of some sort, I will definitely verify that for you guys, but I have high hopes that those are going to be standard items in the because they're not winter fest, they're just winter-esque, so it's easier to kind of leave them in. The only thing that's unfortunate is that when they add new things, they'll leave a little note in the patch notes and say we've added a few items, blah blah blah, but they don't like give specific names. So those of us that have the time, we have to go through each and every single item one by one to see what's new, because they have yet to institute an easy way for you to denote what's been newly added. Hopefully, those of us that have been requesting it for a while now will get that wish answered soonish, but You know, who knows when that will be, if ever. I don't know the logistics behind trying to add that kind of a feature into the current housing vendor tool, so um, maybe Katia will figure out a way to do that, you know, to be able to tag things. It might require that she actually find out which ones are specifically new and then later um, kind of tag them specifically in her add-on, and then that'll be, you know, just happy-go-lucky for us. But yeah, it is lucky that most are grouped up, but you still kind of have to hunt and peck because you never know. Because I like tried the search words ice and snow, and I got a few things, but I missed the glacier stuff until I actually went through item by item and just, you know, discovered that. So, you know, you have to kind of know the terminology that they're using. You know, maybe they added some extra trees, which they didn't, but you know, you never know what they're going to do or how they're going to apply it. And their little naming system is so borked up anyway. I know they supposedly changed some of the names to kind of unify how they um, label things, but there's still a lot that aren't matchy-matchy. And yes, it is kind of annoying with the broken search tool, but as I said, if you are using Katia's Builder Toolkit add-on, she has updated it. I just didn't update it this morning. I only noticed this morning that it was available. She has updated her add-on to fix that little quirk, so you should be able to use your search tool again if you update her add-on. So yeah, definitely, she's always on top of those kind of things, and that's very helpful for those of us that are kind of lost without that stuff. So we're going to go into the beach house today, I think. Spend a little bit of time. It's going to be a short kind of stream today. I've got some things I'd like to get busy on. Still doing a lot of holiday stuff around the house in real life, so and yeah, Katia is the best. It's definitely a very big help for those of us that are avid housers, house peoples, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so a few things that you might notice that are a little different. I've changed the sun. I've switched it out from a light to, honestly, I don't remember what that is. Let me see. Okay, it's the candy bowl. It's the orange candy bowl from Shades Eve. The only one I have, and I thought, well, I'm going to use it for something, and I decided to use it for the sun. The reason I did that was because it was super bright here, and it was a little hard to see some of the detail in the sandy beach, so I decided to switch that out. And these things I've just put down because I thought maybe I'll use them. You know, we have an anchor that's kind of beach boatish kind of thing. Kind of goes with the life raft thingy there. Also got the note in the bottle. What beach doesn't have a note in the bottle on it? And then I've got the weather vane. Why I had this out, I really don't remember why, but maybe we'll think of something for it. I don't know. I also experimented with setting up some window features. I'm not sure I'm happy with it. I tried several different kind of combinations of things. At first I went with just multiple layers of blue glass. I was trying to frost it up, but it seems like you have to add like tons of that just to get it to kind of white out. And I was still able to see the wood behind it. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go dark and try to make a dark kind of setting, but I don't know if that plays off well either. But I wanted some kind of windows to kind of give it a little bit more dimension than just looking like a flat facade there. Whether that really come off okay, I don't. But I'm thinking of repeating it here and then maybe making a smaller one on this side for this little hut. I don't think I really did anything else. I had contemplated adding pillars, not just here, but on this side too. But I didn't want to like really block too much of this, so I've left it open. And instead, I'm using them as the framework for the windows and the doors, which I still need to add to this side. yeah, I'm really happy with how the water has turned out. You know, there's still some little quirkiness in it because I've had to layer several pieces, but I'm pretty happy with how it's gone so far. So let's just kind of move these things around. Don't know if the note in the bottle should be kind of sunk in. I'm gonna push it over this way as well. I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. It's a little big for me. You'll notice too, I've put a few rocks in. All this is one of the bulletin boards, the makeshift one. It's upside down, so all you see is the rocks, and I've tucked it in just so that a few stones are showing. I've done that out here as well with a few other items. That's a tall file, that's some more of the stones, just to give a little bit of something extra in the water, but I didn't want to really clutter it up too much. This is just the top of a plushie, the red gar that I sunk in. I wanted to try and make some more kinds of little shells, and I really couldn't kind of figure out how to make more shells other than some of the goofiness that we did the other day. And I thought, man, I'm just gonna kind of leave it alone. Let's see, the anchor, let's just put this up against the wall here. That looks all right. And this, I have no idea what I was really in. I know I looked some things up and was trying to figure out what pieces I might want to use, but I've slept since then and I don't remember what I was going to use this for. I have absolutely no idea. So I'm just going to send that one to the crate. This one I had actually kind of wanted to set up some kind of like a fishnet thing. I'm going to leave it because I know I want to use it sometime, but I'm not sure what. Today though, I think we're going to play around with some ideas of having some boats or an island or just something to break up the horizon here along this back side. I'll probably add some bits like I've got on this side to extend the beach on outward this way. But I don't want to like mirror it exactly. I don't want the image to look identical. But I do want some kind of something to break this up a bit. So you can go with the traditional like sailboat, or maybe have like I said, an island, or just a large section of land that's off in the distance. You could have like a big, maybe like a cruise liner boat, that kind of thing. If you really want to get fancy, maybe you could have something a little bit closer in and not directly on the horizon, but a little closer in. Maybe a speedboat pulling some skiers or something. Maybe if you want to do like a whale that's spouting out some water or something, that could be maybe interesting. But I think we're gonna keep it kind of traditional, and we're gonna go with like maybe a sailboat or something. So excuse me. Let me just take a swig of water here. So, do we want it directly on the horizon or a little like tucked down below it? I think I want mine pretty much on the horizon. So you see the shape of the boat bottom and the sails and things. And it's going to be fairly small, so we're not like going to be getting into a lot of detail. You don't have to worry about, you know, like the strings, you know, the ropes or whatever, or any windows on the boat hull or anything, or anything like that. We're just going to keep it kind of basic and simple. We just want to give a general impression that that's what that is. So because it's going to be further in the distance, probably we'll go with something a little darker than, you know, a lot of sailboats that have the white sails kind of things. I don't think we specifically have to aim for that, especially if, you know, you've got the sun that's theoretically behind it, kind of. So you're gonna mostly be looking at like the shadow of it, the silhouette. It's not that I'm going for strictly a black silhouette though. It's just gonna be kind of a darker color than perfect white. So, sailboat. We need some kind of a boat-shaped bottom, I guess. Now we do have a boat kind of Decor, the gondola, which I maybe could use. I don't know. Let's see. I don't even know where that would be listed under, if it's listed under G for gondola, since I can't use my search button right now. That makes it a little tougher for me to kind of find things. Could be under Orin, and then in the parentheses gondola. I don't know. Look under G's, maybe we can find it there. If not, then I'll just do my usual picking through things and just kind of randomly find something. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything. So I'm just going to be looking for something that kind of is reminiscent of the shape. You think it's under Orin? Yeah, I don't see nothing listed there, and I'm sure I have it. And I don't think I've used it anywhere, but I wouldn't worry about it. We'll come across something eventually, or stumble across it accidentally. But yeah, we want something that's kind of the right shape, but will look okay, you know, shrunken down. You don't want something that's going to disappear straight away. I wonder if that would work all right. Just put that down for now, just the test. Banana would probably make a good one if you want a nice bright one. We're gonna put him there. Make a banana boat. You could try and go with something that's animated, you know, it's got some movement to it, like the hover barrel or something, but then you get into the issue with all of the pieces that you use for it would have to be moving in tune with each other to make it look like it's moving as a single piece. That's the only problem you have with using the animated. Hover park stuff, yeah, that could work. Very well could suit our needs. I think I should have eaten some breakfast before I hopped on because my stomach. See, we have this boat. That's the nautical bed. The only issue is you'd have that hammock. Excuse me. Poking out. brought tears to my eyes. I'm just wondering if I want to use that somewhere out here as an actual little hammock thingy. I know they've got a hammock decor somewhere in the mix, but they just haven't, you know, made it live or anything. So sorry, I'm just like choked up. Oof. Yeah, I'm feeling better, folks, but it's still hanging on a little bit. Especially when I get to talking and stuff, it shows up a little more. Just looking at different items to see if there's anything that kind of looks like a boat shape. I'm also, as we're going through, I'm looking at things that could be used as the sails. That's the welder. I hear a lot of talking outside. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Might be a group of kids riding by on some bikes. Sometimes the local schools around here will have little outings with the kids. And so every now and then you'll see like a group of like 20 or 30 kids riding down the sidewalk. Off doing who knows what. I don't know. Again, this is one of the downfalls of having a lot of junk in your crate, is when you need to look up something and you're not quite sure what you might want to use and you have to just go through every single piece. I don't know what's going on out there. Maybe somebody's having a fight. I don't think we want to use a corpse as a boat. I don't know, maybe the bottom of that would work. I'm going to put that out just in case. Some of the ways that they changed the names on these things, I mean, this used to be 2 offense, and that kind of made sense to me. Now it's Cosmotronic. Just hard to remember. Well, if we use the hover park piece, which one do you think would work? I mean, there's literally tons of those pieces, and I never have like taken each one out to kind of look to see what it might, what all of them look like. So many of them look the same, just different sizes. Double doors. I don't know. So many weird pieces that I probably have used like once, and then never used them again. But I'm so hesitant to get rid of anything if I don't have to, because never know when I might want to use them again. It's really one of the reasons why I hope, I pray that they will up the Decor storage at some point where it's either infinite or double at least what we have now. That would be awesome, because I hate having to remove stuff. And this is sad. The gate, it doesn't work. Disappointing. But you know, if you're looking for some interesting pillars, that's one way to get them, even though you have to have the whole thing and you have to hide the rest of it. Having the pillar is kind of fun. Good for like some nice fancy log cabin or something. I lucked out and got one of these finally. I got it pretty cheap as well, which was, yeah, a count crate would be another thing. The only thing I worry about that is that maybe they would say, well, for all your characters, then you're limited to like, you know, X amount of decor, and it'd be like far less than if you just had spread it out over all of them. What I think would solve that is if we were just able to remove things from our crate and trade them off if we didn't want to use them, send them to an alt temporarily or something. I think that would solve some of it. Oh, and I have gotten a hold of a few of the new ship pieces. I'm not really into spacecraft building or spaceport kind of stuff. But some of the items I think could be used for some interesting other things. So I've grabbed a few, like the antennas and the lights, because they look fun looking, and I'm sure you could find, you know, other ways to use them. Maybe as a weird kind of a drain or a vent or a knob for something. So I've been grabbing a few extras of those as I can. Strange little mouse thing. Excuse me. Well, I figure we're probably gonna go with triangle pieces for the sails, unless I can just amazingly come up with something else that I might want to use, but I'm not sure what it would work. I don't know. Kind of so long to go through all this stuff. Let's just try what we've got here so far. I thought maybe we could use the bottom of this. Let's just plop this down on the wall here. I don't know, it kind of changed its shape when I have to turn it, doesn't it? Not as thick either as I thought it might be, so probably not that one. Let's try the rock, if that works. I'm guessing if I shrink it down, it too is going to have that same problem with not being the right thickness. What are some of the other things you really wish for as far as housing goes? I know lighting limits is a really big wish for a lot of people. To up those, I feel like we haven't been given enough. This almost looks like an island kind of thing. Have a volcano in the background somewhere. Rather than a boat. At the bottom. Wow, look at that. That's just some weird patterns. Almost look like leaves. That's interesting. Just experimenting. You might start off wanting to build one thing and come up with something else. Looks a little better. Doesn't even look purple anymore, does it? Looks really dark. It'd be good for like someone that wants something for caves or something that really is dark. I never realized that before. Yeah, that's a good idea. Patience is asking for more normal NPCs. Probably ones that aren't necessarily gesticulating crazily or talking and stuff. Maybe just standing there, you know, like if you want to make a line of people waiting for, you know, in a line of food or at a bank or something like that. And in different positions, such as sitting, which is a good suggestion. Because I've tried to kind of sync, could be just the decor I picked, but I've tried a few where kind of sync them in to kind of make it look like they're sitting, but it doesn't quite work. They just kind of pop out, kind of funny. But I had some quirkiness trying to work with the mannequins and the NPCs. They just behave weirdly when you try to put something on them or around them or too close to them. Well, it looks like it might be a banana boat. We shall see here. The main thing is you're going to have to hide the stem. Like there, you don't want that showing. I don't know, does that look like a boat? Gonna be weird. Yeah, the NPCs, you know, like if you could change them, like maybe they're in combat stance or just relaxed stance or something like that would be a good option. Are. Patience is saying I should try a bowl. Let me see if I can. I think I have a bowl. I have 4 bowls, in fact. Let's see. Probably not going to do it exactly like what they're suggesting because it's always hard to kind of give instruction to somebody when you're not sure what they're talking about. What I see in my head or what I think they're saying may not be exactly. Something like that. Is that better? I like that better. That's a good suggestion. But yeah, I wish we could change the positions of the NPCs like we do the mannequins. I wish we had more options in that regard, as because you know that would kind of suit the sitting need. You could have like a sitting position, a sleeping position. You know, maybe you want like somebody laying on the floor, sleeping, rather than just laying the mannequin down and it look like they're weirdly sprawled or something. You could just say you want them in the sleeping position and they'll be like curled up like they normally would be as a regular player would be situated. Just like I'm waiting since they've added the NPCs, you know, the peoples. Not only do I hope they add more races, like it would be great if we had some Protostar guys and some, like I said, the regular normal races like the Orin and the Castians and all that, rather than all of them holding guns and stuff. But I expect they'll probably be giving us some animal NPCs too, which should be fun. Having some actual WildStars running around or chomping on grass at least, even if they don't move, you know, have some kind of little animation. Or maybe they're curled up sleeping and then you could have them sitting on a little pillow or something. That would be cute. But, okay, so what can we use for salespeople? I just assumed it would probably be like the triangle bits. Now, I don't know if all of them are called triangle. I think there's at least one that isn't. It has the word triangle in it, but it doesn't start with that. So, let's see. I may not even have any in my it should have been triangle wall. But to see others are called wall triangle. See how they're not consistent? That just doesn't make any sense. They either need to make them all triangle wall and then just the different race, or wall with a triangle, and it just, there's so much inconsistency that just irks me so much. Let's see, rotated and hold on. Whoops, I closed it all the way up. I'm gonna see what crud if I've got any walls. And I do, I have one. Put that out here. So let me just, I'm gonna leave this one since I have some extras and we'll experiment with. Okay, so you say rotate it, so make it flat. And then set it down like so. Is that what you mean? little sunk in, so it looks like maybe there's water. So which one do you like better? This looks like a origami banana, and that one just looks like a, I don't know what that looks like. Okay, so let's try some sails. I don't know if these are gonna work right. I'm probably have to find some other item that has like a shape that I could sink in and use that as a. I think these are gonna be too awkward. Let's see, how does the sail look like on a sailboat? I don't know. Put them together? Okay, let's see. Whoops. Red. Let's move this one, I guess. Like so, that makes it look a little bigger. I don't know, what does the sail look like? Is it like, I'm thinking the triangle is the wrong shape. Because I think it's like straight along the bottom, isn't it? Like so? But then it looks weird because it looks like a little captain's hat or something. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it should be taller, maybe. You could try and use maybe, what the heck are they called? Canopies? Is it a canopy? Let me search it on the vendor. Yeah, there's a canopy small. I think that will look weird though, because kind of floppy and what's the other one called? I think it's. No, that's not it. I think it's a tent. Isn't it a tent? I'm definitely going to have to update my add-on, Katya's add-on, to get that sorted a little better. I don't know, I think the sticks sticking out will mess that up. I'm gonna try it though, just for saying I gave it a shot, see if it worked. Let's see. I probably have some of the other canopies, but I don't know. Not all of them are, I think, start with the word canopy, so it's kind of hard to figure out what in the world to use as the search, since mine isn't searchable at the moment. I'm gonna try some really awful sinking here. My poor, miserable little sailboat. Oh gosh. Nope, that ain't gonna work because those sticks are sticking out too much. Go away, stick. That's what I was thinking. And then having another one come in that way, maybe? Let me look. Canopy, canopy. Cannon, candle, carrot. No canopy. Are they all called canopies or are they called I know there's some that's an awning, I think. Archway, arch. Oh, crud. I hate the way they changed the names. I see that one's called primitive awning. Who would have thought primitive? Primitive, primitive. Doesn't look like I have any of those either. Hell awning, plushy, file, pet, barrels, no. Let's see what the little one looks like. Yeah, I think let me just buy one of those. Wow, that's... I want it kind of the same as the other one, but maybe it'll work better than the other one altogether. Those awful sticks. Excuse me. I don't think that's gonna work like I'm hoping it would. I'm one of those players that when I'm like trying to turn my character, I'll like turn my head, and I'm really bad with like the Wii, because I keep wanting to turn myself instead of my character, and that's just turning into a jumbled mess. Let's try the suggested cheese idea. I think I have some cheese. Cheese, 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 cheese. I have cheese. This is one of those situations where it's really evident when you don't have access to something like the search tool, how badly you miss it when it's not around. That looks a little better, doesn't it? Now, is it supposed to be like slightly above the boat, or... Move this over here. That looks almost too straight, too perfect, doesn't it? I guess it's supposed to be slightly above the boat. Is that too big for the boat? I don't know. It feels too small now. Should it be really big? I don't know. Winged banner. Winged banner. Is that really what it's called? Because I don't know if I have one of those. Winged. Window. Which is. Let's see, winged banner dominion. I don't know about that. I don't really want a lot of funny colorings. And then it's got the double peak on the end. Can't use any of the clothes, you know, to give that billowing effect because the ropes for the laundry lines would kind of get in the way, I think. Let's see, is it like that with the two kind of joined? You see, I think what's weird is that it's the actual, like, I think it should be like this here. This angle shouldn't be angled, it should be straight. Like that. But it should also be straight with the boat, which throws, because you know these triangle pieces aren't exactly right, and as far as the shape of them, if that makes sense. I think that's what's throwing me off. I'm having to like put 3 pieces together just to make the one the right shape. Like so. So now it's got the flat on the bottom and the perpendicular kind of where the mast would be, I guess, the stick in the middle. Which means I probably got this way too big. So let's join these up. That's no right either, does it? Kind of close. Now the little one I think is supposed to be like that way. And then down like so. Something like that. Does that look alright? Excuse me. It's not perfect, but it's kind of closer, I think, than it was. very not. Because it's hard to get the straight line here and the straight line here and still use all these little pieces. They don't want to match up exactly. All this little tweaking for the sail. Something like that. I'm gonna quit touching it because I think I'm gonna. And I've changed my channels again. Like a couple of the channels will switch. One will be C1 for a few days, and then the next time I look at it, it's C2. I don't understand why it switches like that. But I think that works out alright. Not perfect. But like I said, it's mostly just a representation that there's something out there. Let's see, what else can we do? I guess we should work on the side here. Kind of dread it because that was such a pain to figure out, but it really needs to be done. So let's see, I guess I'll just kind of drag a few pieces over, see what it starts looking like. Well, it looks good because of the good suggestions. The idea with the boats, ending up combining the two, that kind of makes it look like a full boat, actually. Without all of the trouble of adding little details to the shape of it and everything, like the windows and things like that. If one wanted to get that detailed, that's probably an okay thing to do, but it's just not what I'm looking for as far as I want to make sure I hit the right buttons. Sometimes if you hit the wrong place button, it goes to the crate or it doesn't get copied or whatever. Let's see. Now, I probably should have done this before I added in some of the other details, but of course I didn't, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Because I'm having to work with that thing in the way and I can't see exactly, like you don't want that touching. But now as I get over here, I can see just how far the water is from the wall. That's kind of not good. Let's see if we can push that in a bit. Oh, they can't push it in too far. But it's a little better than it was, because that was kind of weird looking. Mostly I'm just not wanting that kind of like little divide or whatever that is showing up too much. That looks so. Probably should really, let's see if we can get that to kind of deeper down a little bit more. Now I know I said I didn't want this exactly like the other one, but even though I'm using the same rocks in the same position, sort of, I think I just spit on myself. I don't think it's going to look exactly the same just because of the way the rock looks on the other side. It won't match up exactly with just the idea. And I say I spit on myself. I have really, I don't know. It's a weird. I call it my like venom thing, like snake spit or something. Sometimes I'll get to talking and just spit just goes sprays all over. I'll like. I don't know, I won't even be talking sometimes, or maybe I am and I'm like reading a book and suddenly there's just little sprinkles of water that appears on the, it's me spitting on myself. I don't know, maybe it's just me that does that, but very frustrating thing because you feel silly when you realize what's happened. But I felt something wet on my arm just now. It's like, what? Guess I got a little excited and slobbered on myself or something. Terrible. Yeah, I'm going to size this one up a little bit because I kind of want to box this in nicely. Excuse me. This over again. I'm going to start kind of trying to better smooth this up a little bit so it looks as intentional as the other side without it looking too weird. The problem with this one on this side is well, it's just one of those, you know, trivia things that you find out. And the problem with this side though is I won't have that division between the little pier thing covering up the little transition where it's going off into the distance. So that may pose an issue as far as making it look like it's really kind of curving off into the distance. I don't know, but we'll see how that works out. I'm just adding more and more to kind of get the shape and everything. I for sure know I need to have some extra bits down here. Just kind of wanted to go kind of from this edge and kind of curve this way. So I'm really going to have to block that in a little better. And of course, I want to keep it as kind of flat to everything else as I can, because I don't want it intruding on this area too much. Mhm. Looking for the right angle, I guess. But not using like too little of the stone itself. Well, I know I've got a good amount of room to play with as far as decor placement here. I do have to be concerned about decor storage because that is getting pretty tight. I think, yeah, I'm at 4740 of 5,000. So, you know, it's one of those deals where I'm going to be getting to this point where I'm going to be having to think, okay, what can I get rid of to make room for this or that? And I hate doing that, but and of course the first things to go are those things that either I can craft myself or I can buy directly off the housing vendor. I hold off on getting rid of like stuff that you buy with renown because that's a little bit more expensive. It's, you know, you actually have to kind of grind that up. But like for just gold and stuff, I'm quicker to get rid of that stuff. But still annoying that I have to do it at all. Okay. I don't know if this one's gonna look as convincing as the other one. Not that the other one's like super convincing, but it looks a little bit more believable than this one so far. Something like that. I don't know if that's too steep of a curve there, kind of going in and then back out sharply. I don't know. Because again, I don't want it to be exactly like this one over here. But we'll see. So the I'll just grab some of these bushes here. Start planting a few in here to kind of put up some green. Guess we'll put some more palm trees up. And again, gonna have to kind of finagle it because we don't want it like being super stuck into the room here, but we want We want some kind of representation that it's up close. That looks okay. That doesn't though. There we go. So there's no weird overlapping on the tree. Grab another one. A little smaller. Again, it's just to help kind of play along with the illusion that there's some distance going on. So this one definitely needs to be behind the big tree, but ahead of the stones back here. So a little bit tricky to do. Again, have to play around with the stones. I have to bring this one forward just a little bit. Something like that. One more for now. Put this one out here. Maybe make it a little smaller. I'm going to change this one up again. Going to tuck it in back behind the big one. I think that'll help. And then add some more greenery. Turn it. You could probably use other types of plants. These just happen to be the ones that I chose. There are the other type of palm trees. They're a little bit more purple. To me, they look more like an underwater plant, but you might can get away with using them in this way on the beach or something as a different kind of a tropical plant. Notice it's still covering the tree. You don't want to cover the tree up, so I'm gonna have to use multiples to get the feel that I want here. And I just kind of wing it as far as where it needs to go. Now I figure it's going to be darker underneath the canopy of whatever kind of trees and stuff's going on. It's going to be darker if it's further in the background, and it'll be lighter in the foreground and on the tops. That's the only thing I'm going by. Whether that's really accurate, I don't know, but how I'm envisioning it. So and these extras is just to change it up, so it's not, you know, because this is like almost too shaped, so this is just to kind of break that up a little bit. Throw some up here as well. Just so it doesn't look too perfect. But I also don't want to cover up the tree too much, so that's, you know, something you have to keep watching. Turn this one a little bit. Hey Bones, long time no see. You've been busy on your alts plot? I hope that is the case. There we go, something like so. I'm gonna rotate this a little bit. Well, you're just gonna have to crack it out so I can go and look at it. That reminds me, I have to do some more random housing today to see if I can find some more winter plots. I've got about 2 that they're considered done and ready to spotlight or visit or whatever. But there's like 3 that I know of that are in the works, and they're really not far enough along to really do them any justice if I went and toured them right now. I'm hoping soon-ish. I really think that once the Winterfest event kicks in and people start getting a hold of some of the new decor items, and really I think today's little additions with the icicles and glaciers and the snowy hill and everything, I think that's really going to get people into it a little more. But if you haven't seen them though yet, Bones, there are some new, we went over it earlier. I'll just quickly go through them. There's the frozen water, which looks a little weird. It's really jagged and it's got a few holes in it and stuff. But yeah, these arrived with the patch today. There's the glaciers. There's chunks, ledges, spires, steps. There's also the icicles, which I think a lot of people will love. They've got the cluster one, the group, and the spike. So you got the single, the double, and then the multiples. So, if you're looking for a house that has, some icing on it, for icicles, or maybe, like I said earlier, if you've got like a ice cave and you need some different kinds of stalactites, stalagmite kind of stuff, these will work really great for that. And then we have um, the snow clump, uh, the snowy ice platform. For those that can't get a hold of the big one, there's a small one now, straight off of the vendor. And then there's the snowy hill. Now, I'll go ahead and go back to the outside to show this, because this is really an important thing for builders. Everybody's been all hyped about the massive umbrella tree, and how it works, that you can flip it upside down and have it duplicate the ground beneath. Well, lo and behold, the snowy hill does exactly the same thing for a fraction of the cost. It also, I think, will be easier to handle. You don't have all of the roots and the tree branches and stuff to worry about, but it works exactly the same as the massive umbrella tree. It replicates the ground beneath it. So that is an awesome addition. It will be great for beginner builders, especially because a lot of them don't have the revenue to afford the massive umbrella trees. And I suspect that may actually bring the trees down in price, because they won't be as in demand, because this cheaper alternative is going to be at everybody's fingertips. So it's a great new deal. So yeah, it works just like I saw somebody tweet that today, and I retweeted it and said, got to get the word out on this, because definitely looks like a flying saucer this way. Now you could like add some little windows and have a little beam coming down, and have a little Protostar guy being beamed up. That worked pretty good. Or a helmet. It could look as a helmet. I might use it as a hat, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, that's some new things. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Sorry that you come in on the last of it, Bones, but at least you got to hear about some of the new stuff, so you'll have to definitely go and check that out. For tomorrow, we'll probably revisit the Sky Plaza again. I may do some kind of brainstorming on what else I want to do with the skating rink downstairs, because I'd really need to get that finished up so that it's ready for when my guild has their little get together. It's still a week or so away, but still want to get that sorted. It's just that I really think there's going to be a lot of stuff that I want to wait on, especially the mall itself. There's some decorations I want to add, but I really want to wait till the Winterfest has hit, because there's like the gift packages and the gift boxes that I really want to load up the tree with and everything. So, I've made a few of my own custom ones, but it's so costly to do that, especially when you're already sitting on a pretty high amount. Here I'm at 2325 of 2500, so it doesn't leave a whole lot. So you kind of have to be stingy with what you're customizing. It's one of the reasons why I haven't even added. I still got one shop that's empty at the moment, I think. And it's mostly because I'm kind of limited. Once the holiday is done, though, I'll be able to remove the Advent Holiday House for sure. And that's taking up a lot of decor right there. I know at least one of the items One of the things I made took up like 40 something pieces. So that's a pretty big chunk. And once I get to remove this, that'll free up a lot of space that I can, go about detailing out elsewhere. Um, so in the meantime, we'll find some other things to doodle with. And I appreciate you guys coming in. I'd never heard of that, Bones. The name is coming. No, I'll have to look that up just to see what you're talking about. About a UFO made out of vanilla ice. That just sounds weird. Are you talking about like made out of ice cream? That's just kind of weird. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining in. I will say that I have been writing down names uh, for those that have been regularly coming in to chat. And I think what I will do is I will draw the name on the 16th when the Winterfest actually hits live. Just kind of extra celebration there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically it's just kind of a thank you to my regular viewers. I know I have over 100 followers now, but that's not really an accurate count of how many people are actually watching my show. I do have many that watch after it's been recorded. They don't have time to catch me while I'm on live, or maybe the time zone difference is just a little too difficult, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to say an extra thank you to those that do regularly come and chat with me while I'm broadcasting. And, they share ideas, or we kind of brainstorm things, or we just chit chat about things that we like for housing and other stuff too, but it's mostly housing junk. And I just wanted to give a little thank you to them. So what I'm doing is I'm noting down for the past several weeks who all's been coming in regularly. And I'm going to put all their names in a pot, and I'm going to draw a name, and they're going to get a custom item from me. It's not going to be like a full build, you're not going to get like a full plot build or anything. But it'll be something small but custom for me, like maybe a piece of furniture that I've made or that you want me to make, to your specifications. Like one of the paintings that I've done, if you like one of those, or if you want me to make one specific to you, maybe it has like personal meaning to you, like if you want a special flower made, or maybe a portrait even. I don't know if I can pull it off, but we will work something out in that regard. So one lucky regular viewer will get that little present from me this year. If it works out nicely and we don't have too much trouble with getting that translated to them, either if they're on a different realm or region, if I can send them the code for it, or if I can just, quickly be roommated and just kind of build it for them straight up. However we work that out. If it goes well, then I might make this a kind of a regular thing. It won't be all the time, but maybe every few months I'll do, just something in with the season. This is a holiday kind of thing. Maybe they want a custom tree made or a custom holiday decoration made for them. Maybe, if I do something in Easter time, they'll want something else that's more related to that season or whatever. Or it could be something totally different, but we'll work that out later. But like I said, I think I'm going to do the draw on the 16th. So if you've been regularly coming in and chatting with me, and even without the prospect of getting a little chance at a present, this is my thank you, and I hope that you will check back later to see if you were the lucky winner. As a reminder too, there are currently 2 housing competitions going on. Actually, I think there's 3. The one though is in French, so I don't really know what it says, all the rules and stuff. I think that one though is where you pay to enter. You have an entry fee or whatever that you have to give up front, and then whoever wins, I guess the pot is split between all of, how much they collect. I don't know how well that one will go over, but it is out there. So if you do speak French, visit the French forums. I don't remember exactly where it's located. I want to say it's in the realm section of the French forums. I don't think it's in the housing one. But the two that I do know about for sure are Black Dagger Society's Winterfest housing extravaganza that they're holding. I don't remember the dates for that one offhand, but I do have it linked on the resources section of my Twitch channel page, or you can go directly to Entity, the forum for that, the official forums, the Entity Realm section. It is only open to Entity players, both factions, but they're giving away some nice hefty prizes. I think there's our holiday mounts and plat, a nice purse of plat. For Venus Rising's housing competition, theirs is actually open to both regions and both factions of each region. So no matter where you are or time zone or whatever, you're eligible. There are some specific criteria you have to meet, though. It does have to be a winter plot. There does need to be a Protostar kind of homage, or just a little way of commemorating them, because Venus Rising's contest is really kind of tied in heavily with the Winterfest and how they've got it all kind of sponsored by Protostar, and it's really heavily Protostar-esque. So they want people's entries to include something along those lines. I don't know how much of it, I don't think it's a certain percentage of the plot has to be dedicated to the Protostar guys, but you have to have some kind of Protostar kind of tribute somewhere in there. How elaborate or whatever, that may determine, the points that you get for it. I don't really know. I mean, even though I'm a judge, I'm kind of just steering clear of giving out too many specifics on what I personally will be looking for. We do have a judge sheet that has all the little criteria that we have to watch out for, and we do like a 1 to 10 rating for each section, and then we average it out, and then that goes to Nelia, who's actually running the contest, and then she will take all of the judges' information and calculate it up and see who's got the most out of it, and all that kind of stuff. But definitely, if you have a winter-esque plot or Winterfest plot, and you think you might want to enter, be sure and check both of those out, especially if you're Entity, you could get into both. If you're only on Javit's side, then of course Venus Rising's competition is the only one that you would be eligible for, unless you happen to have an alt-on Entity. But check both of those threads out, find out, they have all of their rules and criteria and specifics. I do know that Venus Rising's entries start on the 19th, so that gives you about 3 days. Once the Winterfest kicks in on the 16th, you get about 3 days before people will start submitting their homes. That gives you 3 days to collect some of the new Winterfest decor that you can throw in on your plot and kind of help jazz it up a little bit. I think the end for submissions on that one is the 27th of December, and then they will be announcing the winner on the 10th of January. So from the 27th on, myself and the other judges will be busy checking out all the homes, and we will be jotting down all our information, and hopefully people will be happy with the results. You know me, I've got pretty high expectations and standards. I've run into issues in the past with not a whole lot, but there's been one or two that didn't like it, that I didn't want to list their house. because I felt that it didn't have enough like custom built goodies into it. And so that's my opinion, but other people don't agree with it. But hopefully they don't give me too much flack for what I decide, at least on my end, what houses I think deserve the top prizes. The prizes are limited. Nilia got Carbine to send a lot of swag over. It includes t-shirts and lanyards that you can get, just a couple of plushies. I think there's even a deck of playing cards and a mouse pad, just like really long and wide. But I think her plan is to give out like a little package, not just one gift per thing. It's like they get several things in like a little prize package. So I think the way it's going, correct me if I'm wrong, and of course verify it on the thread where all that information is, but I believe it's going to be 2 winners per region. So there's going to be an overall top winner and then a runner-up for EU side, and then the same for NA. And then those players will get these little gift packages. So it's going to be kind of tough to kind of narrow it down just to those, top 2 for each region. But anyway, so yeah, if you're interested in any of that, be sure and give those threads a look and see if your house qualifies. And if it does, be sure and enter. Don't wait until the last minute. I have been promoting this for a little over a week now, I think, and so you have plenty of heads up. If you're in the process of working on your winter home, get busy now. Don't wait. Even if you're kind of waiting for the new decor, already be planning out what you're wanting to do, because I think the competition is going to be pretty fierce, so you don't want to leave that to the last minute. Anyway, again, thank you for dropping in. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.